So I think for me, the value of connecting with people I don't know to just, kind of share best practices. I have some notes here. I am going to use some of the information that I learned today to prepare a report for my executive leadership team for Monday, with the goal of ensuring that it's something that's meaningful, not fluff, but that really is kind of sharing some results of the many things that we have going on here in the marketing department.
I love these meetings. I mean, I come to every one of them on purpose because it makes me think in a different way. I know I run quite a few different companies and things like that, but again, I love talking with people, especially people that have been in the trenches with me at this point. So, thank you everybody for just making me think in a different way. And for me, it's more about data privacy and cybersecurity going into next year. Because eventually there is going to be a policy across the board nationwide. And how do you as a marketer think about the data that's being captured on your users? B2B, B2C, it doesn't matter. So that will be eventually something to think about.
Thank you so much for doing this, Joe. I think it's always helpful, like John said. And I think that sometimes you get different reactions. Sometimes you feel a little overwhelmed. Sometimes you feel really good. Like, oh, I think I know what's going on. Or, all of those things are valuable. Like, even if you can get one tip or sometimes a million. Anyways, the thing I'm going to take away from here actually was data hygiene. Even though it's not my area, it's something I feel strong about us fixing just for content marketing purposes. But maybe the better way for me to go about that is to point out what you just did. So thank you.
Yeah, especially with attribution too, Ellie. Like, how are we making marketing decisions if the data is not clean going into the CRM?
Exactly. So I really appreciated that, like in the way you put it, and I, will steal some of that. And then also, interestingly enough, the other thing I really wrote down that I want to talk about is doing stuff like this, because it's killer, Joe. I think this is great B2B marketing.
Thanks so much, Joe. These are great, and it actually is something I look forward to every couple of months, because sharing laughs with people who've, been there, sharing resources, and every time I'm taking away with something new, and also things to think about that is not even on my radar. So appreciate the team. Thanks.
First of all, thanks, Joe. I appreciate the invite. But for me, it's really getting a pulse on the macro environment. I think we get stuck in our own silos in terms of what our businesses do every day, but there's so much and ever changing in the marketing space. So for me, I think it's really valuable to hear some of the challenges that others are going through, as some of them may creep up for me eventually. So yeah, appreciate that.
What I got out of it was kind of a good go forward plan regarding some consolidation on our social media. I got a couple of good tips, and also the discussion about podcasts hit me right home. We had a podcast that my boss had carried over from his time in Maine, and he recently put it on pause because we just were not getting much value out of it, and he was running out of steam. So I want to be able to come back to him with a couple ideas about that, specifically where we can leverage our content marketing, as I think it was Ellie was talking about, and focused on our market center, as opposed to what he would get these thought leaders within the real estate market. They're all over the place. And so I think it was hard for us to develop any kind of funnel work out of it. So great discussion, and gave me a really good idea there. So thank you.
I appreciate the invitation, and my main goal is really connecting with other folks who are probably facing similar challenges than as me. I think just hearing other perspectives on the same problem has been really helpful, and taking away a lot of different ideas and perspectives that you'll share. So appreciate that, and look forward to the next one. Thank you.
I think for me, it was just learning what other folks were up against and getting out of my bubble. So that was really useful. The takeaway, it was something on my list anyway, but a bigger reminder was really more about podcasts, but looking at it from a different vantage point than what I was planning on before. So that's helpful as well for next steps.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining us here today. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next Marketing Director Roundtable.